My Opinion with J&M. Jonathan, are you a little itchy there?
I don't know. Maybe I got tics. I don't know.
We've talked about this. You
I do
later
not have
on you'll
tics.
go and say
I
in
do
the
not
show,
have
I do not have tics, blah, 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 blah. So you either have tics or you don't.
No, I don't. Why, do I always say that?
I feel like you've mentioned that a couple times already.
No, it's a joke.
Is it though?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I'm trying.
It's not that
I
funny.
have soundboards now, so I'm trying to test these out. How you doing, bud?
Good.
What's that itchy?
We have not argued like that in a while, right?
Oh, a little while ago.
Things got pretty heated.
That's heated.
I guess for people who don't really argue.
That's Didn't we? Who did we talk to about this before? Was it we talked about with your cousin, with Kristen? One time she was on the pod and she was here with what was the girl with the
Did
really
you almost
curly hair?
smack yourself in the face?
No.
Hey, hold on.
By the way, we have a guest today.
And we do not have insurance.
Yeah,
so
so please do not hurt yourself on my set. I'll let her introduce herself.
I'm Maggie Hall.
Where are you from, Maggie?
I'm originally from Kentucky, but I've lived in.
I knew it. I knew it.
There it is.
I'm 5'9".
Oh.
I like apple pie.
Who doesn't?
But I've lived in Chicago, I think about 4 years.
Do you know that? Do you know the Colonel?
I've seen his grave.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
So he's actually like is he a real person?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Damn,
My
why do you make it seem
father-in-law.
like I just insulted your entire life here because I made fun of the Colonel. Like, relax.
Fried
It's all
chicken
right.
is pretty much it's a big part of my
okay,
life.
Man, it's okay.
This might be a rumor, but my father-in-law says that he worked at a KFC and he was messing around in the kitchen and he came up with something and the Colonel himself came in.
He killed him and took his recipe.
And they put it on the menu.
Hey,
And I'm like, I don't know if it's true, but
let's go with it's true.
But he was a real
mind
person.
behind the 11, what is it? How many original spices does it have?
11, 16.
Whatever it is. Some kind of crazy
bunch.
number.
I don't know.
A bunch of powder in a bucket. And
5 spices.
I don't remember what it was. So John, we were talking about our little argument. So me and him were arguing earlier.
Yeah, I missed that.
About, are you a sports fan at all? Do you watch sports?
I like being there physically, but if
Okay.
it's on TV, I could care less.
So we were, a little altercation happened between two basketball players that are on the same team during a practice game. And me and him were debating over who was a guilty party and whatever. And we got kind of into a little heated debate. But arguing with him, I mean, he's like my brother. So it's like, I can't, like, I don't know. I feel like, well, what did you expect was going to happen? Did you expect chairs to be thrown over this?
No,
like old Jerry Springer
no.
episode or something? Or what?
You don't argue like that. Not much.
Yeah, but
Not anymore.
It was fun. I had fun. Did you have fun? I had fun. That was exhilarating.
Sure. I don't know about all that.
Oh, I was ready to throw something. I'm kidding. I wasn't.
So it sounds like you were on one player's side and you were on the other player's side, and you both only saw it from your one player's side.
Well, he's I
I'm
don't know if this
debater,
is a word, but contrarian. He likes to
contrarian.
go against the freaking.
We're gonna quote that here today
Yeah,
on IMO.
sure.
What did you say?
Contrarian.
Contrarian. I said
Contrarian.
whatever that word. So you know what? Explain the situation. I'm gonna look up the video so she can see it, and then we'll just go from there.
Oh
so
my
explain.
God! Are we? She doesn't like sports. She doesn't care.
Okay, so basically,
Okay, if somebody is it kind of like assault if somebody comes into your face and like kind of pushes you with their body and starts talking to you like on you. Is it? Yeah.
would you say that's assault?
I don't know the legal line that's drawn. I'm not really sure.
guess
It's
it
definitely
depends.
harassment, if nothing else.
Okay, well there you go.
Now, my argument was in the sport of basketball, right? I've gotten into a lot of arguments and scuffles with people, right? Never, like a few times, fists get thrown, whatever, but getting in people's faces is a common thing that happens
Oh my.
in sports, in any sport. If you watch any sport, maybe not tennis, probably not. And even then, John McEnroe got in people's faces, but nonetheless.
Sure, it's happening modeling.
That's,
Yeah, right.
Oh, you just throw a
Yeah,
punch. Just
you know?
don't hit the
Right?
face and everything's fine.
Oh, that did happen.
the point was, so we don't hear what's going on in this video. We just see it, right? So we see one player's on one side, the other one's like, you can see they're kind of like talking to each other. One of them gets in his face, the other one pushes him away, the other one swings.
Oh my.
And that's what happens, right?
Okay.
So his argument is Draymond Green, which is the one that threw the punch. He's automatically guilty because he has a history of aggressiveness when he plays basketball. Gets into arguments a lot, blah, blah, blah.
And he was the one that kind of walked into, like, if somebody walks into
He was the one who approached?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
My argument is we don't know why he walked up to him.
Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't
It could have been,
matter.
it does matter.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, God.
No.
Dude, there is this law and these things called fighting words that are used in court that you can approach and defend yourself. If that can be taken as a threat. So if he said something, I'm not saying he did. All I'm saying is we don't know the overall situation. We're looking at it from the outside, and we're looking at it just because we know that he has kind of a short temper. But we don't really know.
He's a piece of shit for doing it. That's all I know.
Nonetheless, they're both wrong in my opinion. I think they both deserve, maybe not both. I think Draymond for throwing the punch obviously needs to get more punishment. But nonetheless, enough about that.
Yeah,
I
please.
still love you, bro.
Please.
I still love you, bro.
Yeah, I still tolerate you.
Nice.
Aww.
I'm glad.
That's
it's
true
not-
friendship when you keep
I mean,
it
I
at that
I have to
honesty.
stay in-
I'm going for 30 something years.
I have to stay in his good graces. This is his house. So like my stuff.
Well, thank you for having
his-
us.
Oh, no,
his
no
stuff,
problem.
my stuff is in his house. So he just changes the locks and all of a sudden I don't have any more stuff. But anyways, you are the guest. You are the star today.
Oh my.
So you're a model
Yes.
and an actress.
Yes.
Anything else that you do?
I'm also a housekeeper.
Housekeeper?
I am, well, for my own house. I don't keep anyone else's house, but I used to, but not anymore. Mine is enough. And I'm married, and when I'm not working, I'm cleaning, doing dishes, doing laundry, dishes and laundry. Dishes and laundry.
Dishes and laundry.
They take up a lot of time. We don't have a dishwasher someday.
You know what? I have a dishwasher and I don't use it.
Did you say that?
I mean, here's the thing. So it's like me and my sister live together, right? So I was like, my sister we grew up without a dishwasher. So I think it's
Okay.
one of those things where like, since,
Yeah,
dishes were always washed by hands as we were growing up. So like it kind of became the
So
thing.
it's
and,
this
like,
pent up, like, all the
Yes.
time I could save if I just had something else to do this for me.
sure, yeah.
Decoration.
I really don't think I've ever
Shiny.
used it. I don't even know if it actually works properly since we moved into that house. But anyways, so
Oh
let's start from the modeling. 'Cause
Okay.
that's interesting to me.
Oh, cool.
I was going to start with how you lose an accent in 4 years. 'Cause I didn't realize she was from Kentucky, like right off the bat.
How I lose the accent?
Yeah.
It comes out more when I'm nervous. I think this
Oh,
is pretty like, I hear it.
I didn't hear it at first.
I heard it here and
Did
like
you?
little things, little,
Mm.
not a lot though.
Sometimes it's like it's like a defense mechanism. Like, who can't like somebody who has a Southern accent?
That is true.
I mean,
True.
so
That is true.
I turn it up a little bit.
It like
maybe,
automatically
but-
makes you smile because it's like it's
Yeah.
one of those voices like
I'm not
I wish
used
I
to
can
it.
do that.
Yeah.
I wish I can do that.
Well, you just swallow your G's and nothing has a G on the end of it.
Nothing has a G.
Nothing.
I might work on that.
Yeah.
I can't because he makes fun of everything. He makes
Yeah.
fun of my British all the time.
I would love to hear.
Awful.
I would
Hold
love
on.
to hear
No,
it.
you would not.
Is it better than yours?
Sure.
Then don't talk.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
I
so-
think you're a lie. I do.
She sounds a lot better than you right off the
but
bat.
she
That's
has-
Cockney. That's
but yeah,
not
she has
really.
it's like a different. They have a bunch of different ways of talking that accent, right? That British is like. What do
There's
they call
British
it?
RP. There's Cockney.
Yes, there's like from different parts of that.
Yeah, the different regions.
But let's get to the modeling.
Okay, I'm
So
sorry.
how'd you get started in modeling?
Do you want to know about photography modeling or art modeling?
Let's start with the simpler one, the basic one. Let's start with photography.
Okay, photography started, what year was it? 2018. I moved to Chicago from Kentucky, and I started auditioning for everything that I could, and auditioning for things that I was like, there's no way I'm going to get it. And one of them that I was like, there's no way I'm going to get it. Well, I got called back, and long story short, I got the part, and my counterpart in this movie was this wonderful human being who's now one of my best friends, and she was already an established model, and she was also in Chicago. So I'm like, I have a new friend. I just moved here. I thought it would be so hard to make friends. And she said that she was trying to get into photography herself. And I was like, well, I'm not a model, but I'll model for you. I just want to hang out with you. And we shot at her apartment. And then she's like, oh, well, if you want to do this, then come to this gig that I'm doing this weekend. There's going to be this whole warehouse space, and there's going to be different photographers.
Real quick.
I'm sorry. Am I getting ahead of myself?
Let's rewind for 1 second.
I'm talking too long.
1 second. We're going to rewind.
I'm sorry.
Only because, so you moved to Chicago.
Yeah.
You met someone on set.
Yeah.
And you modeled for them.
Uh-huh.
How long did you know this person before you did that?
I moved in July and we started filming in September. And so the filming took 5 days. So she and I shared a hotel room. So we had again, still I'm getting ahead of myself. So when they called me back, they said there's someone else from Chicago. Can you give her a ride? So that was a 6-hour drive there and back to this audition. And then so we had 6 hours in the car, and then when we got the gig, we had 5 days on set together, and then in the hotel room, and then
okay, because I'm like, I when you told me that story, I'm like, oh, that sounds like a Jeffrey Dahmer thing. Like that's
God.
literally hold on, that's literally what happens in the first episode of the Jeffrey Dahmer show.
I can't
like
watch
he goes to a club, he meets a guy, he says, hey, I'll give you $50 if you pose for me or whatever. And then that guy never comes back. So I mean, I was just like, wait, at least it was a couple days, right? I mean, you met somebody. I'm like, that's kind of a risk. I mean, well, you know what? I take that back. It's kind of a risk coming here sometimes too.
Well, yeah, you met me outside, and I couldn't see who it was. And
see, I told you we need to fix that light bulb of yours, man. We got to change that light bulb.
Okay, so there's a messed up light bulb, so all of a sudden it's like
it's super dark out here.
I get it.
It's super dark.
I don't know what's going on,
but anyway, I
assure you, this is legit. This is a real podcast.
No, I'm in a safe space.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
People know where I am.
There are kids in this building, and
I heard them upstairs.
His wife is here as well. So
you're married too. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Everybody's good. I'm the only one trailing that wagon there.
There's no timeline.
I told you.
Trailing that wagon. Oh,
where do I come up with these things? I don't know.
Well,
He's inspired by my accent.
There we go.
Is a lot of fingers and a lot of pies in that thing? Is that okay? He said that last week.
Have you ever heard?
It is not.
Have you ever heard anybody say you have your finger in a lot of pies?
Yes.
See, I'm not crazy.
It's like a control thing.
I'm telling you, I didn't make it up.
I apologize. All right.
Okay, continue. I'm sorry. So you arrived in Chicago. You met someone. Mm-hmm. You guys became good friends.
Yeah.
You started working. Go ahead.
So she was like, "Well, I'm doing this gig on Saturday. There's going to be photographers have booked different time blocks at this one location. Do you want to model with me?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I felt so bad because I didn't know what I was doing. Full disclosure, it was nude. I have been a nude model. I am no longer a nude model. But it's a great way to start because a lot of people want to work with you. So you make a lot of contacts really fast.
So let's pause right there for a second.
Okay.
Because I can totally see a lot of red flags going on when it comes to stuff like that. Because you're new, right? So you're new you're new into modeling, right?
Okay.
So you're taking jobs, right?
Yes.
How safe did you feel in all those jobs? Did you ever have any problems? I'm just curious. I have a lot of friends that are photographers. I'm just curious on how that works.
Oh, for sure. I always felt very good. I always felt very safe. Like today, somebody always knows where I am. But human trafficking is a thing. So there are things that you need to look out for. Like if you at any point during your messaging with whoever you're going to work with, get any slight tinge in your gut that's like, that was weird, that should be listened to like immediately.
Like
and let whatever the money number that it was, it doesn't matter. So, so if they ever ask for your address, they should never need that. If they ask for 3 recent pictures of you because they want to see what you look like now, it's like, no, you want to wait outside my address for someone who looks like me to walk out so you can nab me. Like that's a fear. What else? I always felt very safe because, I mean, people can lie, but I always ask for references. I check them out before I work with them. Someone always knows where I am. I get a deposit because sometimes if people aren't serious, they like lure you in with money and then they don't have it. But if you get a deposit, they're not gonna.
Well, at least you get something out of
yeah,
it.
they're not gonna throw it away for.
Sure.
They're just gonna be like, oh no, I don't do that. Never mind. But I've always felt I've been very lucky because it's definitely happened to people. I've heard stories, and even one time, this man, I told him my rate. And he was like, that's too much. How about half of that? And in my mind at the time, I was like, well, I still want to make connections and I still want to meet people.
Yeah.
But I would rather work for a little bit than not work and have nothing, was my train of thought. And so that should have been the first red flag, is he's like, let me do half of that. And then I said, can you give me some references of people that you've worked with? And he's like, well, I could, but I also could be a liar. And he said, and how did he phrase it?
Definitely smell shite.
Yeah. So it was I was like, that's really strange. And I was like, well, why would you say that? And he said, because people act differently around different people. You know, they might have a different perception of me. You know, you might not see me the same way. And so I was like, I'll just block you. That's fine. But like you get a lot of weird. And I still deflect a lot of weird Instagram messages, but I've honed my gut. My gut is God. And if I don't listen to that, then, you know, it could go awry. But I've also been very fortunate that nothing has happened.
Fair enough.
But it's not necessarily to my credit because, you know, models do their homework and things still happen. So
that's true. That's very true.
I'm like shaking.
It looks like you want to say something, John.
I'm thinking about how I would do as nude model. Probably not as good as her. Right? Shit.
Well, you never know.
Don't you have that Speedo?
Oh, no,
I know.
No.
That little Speedo picture. Start with that. See how many views you get on that.
That's not a bad picture. But that was 10 years ago. So, yeah.
The internet doesn't know.
Put the Mama Luna pizza down.
Yeah,
that's what you got to do, man. You stop eating the Mama Luna pizza, even though it's very freaking delicious. But
Mama Luna?
Yeah, it is.
Haven't heard of that.
Where are you from in the city?
I was in Rogers Park, but now I'm living in the surbs.
You're in the suburbs?
Yeah.
What suburb are you in? How far was your drive? Please,
I don't want to give that information.
Tingle in her gut right now.
Hold on.
What are your coordinates?
The reason I asked is because he gets kind of not mad, but like we've had some people drive in from pretty far. Like we had one from Milwaukee.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel bad when they come from like.
And all you offer them is water?
I'm serious.
Yeah,
and it's not even name brand water. It's Piggly Wiggly.
That's okay.
Water's water.
Freaking, Vanessa flew in from wherever she was flying from.
Wow.
But she's also a stewardess, so she flies for free. That don't count.
Well, still, it's a testament to you guys that people will travel.
No, she also was a friend of mine from like years
High
ago.
school
So
days,
yeah, so
yeah.
she was very up for it. So you did the nude modeling, right? Did that was the pay pretty good for that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine. Right?
Fuck, it better be, right?
So how does that? Okay, so
nice.
you never had any issues?
There, by the grace of God, go I. No, I didn't.
Do you know any stories of any of them that's gone pretty bad?
I do, but they're not mine to share.
Okay, good.
But
Fair enough.
But
Fair
they
enough.
are. It's very scary, you know, because when you're in that situation, like when you're on the outside listening to this happen to your friend or someone that you know, it's like, oh, like you feel so awful, and you think, well, what would I do in that situation? And most of the time, it's probably exactly what they did. You know.
See, I was talking because I knew you were going to be on the pod, and I was talking to one of my coworkers. I'm going to have a model. And she's done some revealing pictures or whatever, and
people just get so hung up on that.
No, because I'm a guy, right? So like, if I'm a photographer, right, I'm like, you have to be like stupidly professional, right?
I would hope so.
It's nice. Yes, it would.
But then at the same time, you are a man, right? So I mean, if you obviously you're taking pictures of the majority of the time you take pictures of attractive women, and I'm like, I don't know how people kind of deal with that. You know how I deal with that? I don't do it. That's how I deal with it. I don't do it because I'm not saying I'm perverse that way, but I'm that's something I don't really want to put myself in. I don't even want to have that issue remotely. I don't even want to think about it that way. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder how people actually deal with it. Like I might get you know who's done good pictures like that? Oh my God, he's gonna get mad. I forgot his name.
Blanking.
Yes, I'm blanking very bad. He was helping us with behind the scenes shots. Damn it, I can't think of his name right now. Damn it, he was on the pod.
Damn.
I can't remember his name right now. Hold on, I am totally brain farting. Nonetheless, so you also do art modeling as well, right?
Well, I would like to address what you just said of not being able to separate if you're a man looking at an attractive woman. And that's something that I've come across too, is you go in for an art nude and then they pull out handcuffs. It's like, I think we have a different idea of what art nude is.
And this is where I'm like, I wonder where do you as a photographer, because do they not let you know what they're doing ahead of time?
You're supposed to. The handcuffs were a surprise.
Yeah. I would assume, if I'm hiring someone for a filming gig, which is what I do, right? I'm like, I will tell them every single aspect because I don't want to have an issue at all.
That's nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally sent out my storyboards.
Well, you want them to know what you're getting into or what they're getting into, right? No surprise.
It's a professional courtesy for sure.
So they pulled out handcuffs.
That was just one time. That was just one time. But generally, when you're shooting art nude, it's like, well, this also melds in with art modeling as well. But they're looking at so many things as a photographer. You're making sure it's in focus. You're making sure it's got a nice composition. You're looking at me as a subject. By the way, it was
Jimmy. Jimmy was the name I was looking for.
Hi, Jimmy.
Sorry, Jimmy. I apologize, my friend.
Jimmy's going to have hurt feelings.
Oh. I'm sorry. Continue. I'm sorry.
But you're seeing me as a subject. You're seeing the lines. You're seeing the shapes. You're seeing the shadows. Art nude, like the nude form, doesn't have to be sexual. It can just, we all just have bodies.
I could agree with that.
And so it's like when you're just a person in your body and you're just like making, and what you're focused on is making shapes and the way the shadows hit you. You're not thinking about, I don't think so. And I've been a photographer and I've taken nude photos, but you're thinking about so many other things, like what's my ISO? And maybe that's just me as an amateur photographer. I'm focused so much on that, but even professional photographers, they have so much that they're thinking of at one time. And they're paying me a lot. They have a vision that they want to make, and like they're invested in it in an artistic way. And so I don't think that that wasn't me, was it? It's like I thought I turned on silent. I'm sorry. But
where do these photos, like, are they in magazines or are they
sometimes. Or sometimes they'll hang in galleries, or sometimes it's just for Instagram. And this was something that I came to realize way later. But part of me realized I was only as comfortable with nude modeling as I was because I knew the images were going to be censored. And any that were fully nude, they were going to be censored. But if it's in a gallery, it's not. Like, one photographer was so kind and gave me a piece that had hung in some state out west, Oregon, I think. And I was like, oh, how cool! And I'm at the beach and I'm holding this sphere and I'm on the rocks looking out at the water and I'm just creating this shape. And it's my butt, but it's the whole picture. Like, I don't see that as a perverse or a sexual image, but I do come across
I wonder if it's because some I know a handful of photographers, right? And some of them I know since I was like younger, and I know how they were with like women and stuff like that. So like sometimes I guess that's where my mind kind of thinks, like, how does this guy, who I know was like a womanizer would be the word I'm looking for, like in high school or whatever, like he was an attractive guy, had a bunch of girlfriends, blah, 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 all this type of stuff. Like someone like that I knew, like, how do I see them? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't trust, like if I had a daughter who was your age, let's just say, I don't know if I would trust you with taking pictures like that of someone I knew. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm not saying art, photographers are all like that. I'm not saying that at all.
Oh no, that's not the case at all.
I'm just saying I feel like.
But I hear where you're coming from.
It can probably go south very fast. in a lot of situations, you know. But I guess that's why you got to be careful with who you do business with.
Well, it's a very vulnerable job, and most people see that and respect that, and they understand the vulnerability that you're presenting as the model. I just totally lost my train of thought. But
all the time.
But to speak to your point, I did not tell my dad for a long time.
How did he feel about that when he found out?
Well, he actually, it was like this past,
or is he gonna find out right now
July.
On this podcast?
No, he's not watching this.
It was like this last July. I was, cause I have 2 sisters-in-law. I have 2 older brothers. I'm the baby and I'm the only girl. So that's also part of it.
You're protected. You're good.
Catholic household. It was very sheltered.
You're protected. You're good. But my 2 sisters-in-law follow me on Instagram, and they don't like everything, and I don't expect them to. But we were on vacation. They were on vacation. They came to Chicago over Labor Day. And so we were all in their Airbnb, and we were all having dinner, and I was talking about this upcoming shoot that I was really stressed about because I had expenses that I had to cover, and I was struggling booking enough people I was breaking even, and I'm like, I'm doing all this work and I'm not going to make any money. And I was just stressing out, and they were just like, why do people pay you to take your picture? And they're just like, what is this for? And they just didn't understand any of it. And my oldest brother, oh my God, we're all just eating tacos, and he just goes, they just want to take your picture naked. And I'm like, God, I don't do that anymore. And my husband was like, you shouldn't have said any more. It's the same thing. Just say, oh, I don't do that. And I'm like, oh, damn it, I gave myself away. I don't do that anymore. Oh, that was an admission. So, I mean, everything has it. Everything has its place, you know, in art like that. Like photos, whatever it is, if it's nude, if it's not, or whatever, shoes, hands, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, but a parent isn't gonna understand that.
No, I get
flip out. I'm assuming.
Well, my mom was more accepting, but my dad just didn't say anything. So I'm like, did you already know? Because I've been doing it for 3 years. Did you already know? Or you just like, I just want to eat my tacos.
I don't want to talk about this.
Well, he has a daughter, so who knows what path she's gonna take.
She ain't gonna take that path. I'll tell you that.
Oh, but I mean, it could
not that it's a bad thing.
She should be free to express herself.
Oof, you're gonna get a talking to right now.
I would.
You're gonna get a parenting class right now.
How do I say this without like? No, I respect what you do. Whatever you want to do is.
So what if she wanted to do it?
But there is an undercurrent of danger.
She ain't gonna do it.
And as a parent, your mind has to go to the worst case scenario because you have to protect your children. So I respect that.
I agree. I mean, but again, you have to acknowledge if that's something she wants to pursue.
Yeah. She's not going to pursue it, but I will respect that.
You're just totally not going to even expose her to the modeling at all. That's great.
I would love to transition from that into what art modeling and by extension, nude photography modeling has done for me.
Absolutely.
If it would give you a different perspective.
Absolutely.
Just a precursor. Yes. She's not going to do it. Go ahead.
Okay, that's fair.
What doors has it opened for you?
She's got a $100,000 Ferrari parked outside right now.
Not gonna happen.
Okay, never mind.
Go ahead.
He's not talking about me, by the way.
I tried.
So I grew up, like I said, in a very Catholic household, and we went to church every Sunday. And I got to an age where I was constantly fighting with my mom every Sunday about this is what I want to wear, and I can't wear it, and so it was. Oh, I'm sorry, Mom. I don't mean to. That's true, though. We did fight about that, and she's a different person now, as am I. But it was a very modesty was very important, and so I grew up with this view of women, and I also grew up with 90s sitcoms, which is not a healthy way to view society and being a woman. It is not good.
Well, we grew up with a religious background.
Oh, so
yeah,
we were pretty much the
same way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not so much for guys, obviously, but like girls, like my sisters
women
couldn't
had to wear skirts.
Long skirts, you know, not form-fitting clothes, whatever. I don't know what else the rule. There was a couple rules for that type of stuff. So we were very conservative. Is the right word?
modest.
When it comes to
Yeah.
that type of, I'm sorry to interrupt you. But
No, I don't want to talk the whole time. I mean, goodness, give me a breath.
You're actually giving me a break, which is great.
I'd rather
'Cause
you than
Okay.
Yeah, see?
Okay.
See? Go ahead, continue. You want to sit on this side? I'll sit there.
Oh my
Go ahead,
goodness. Part of why I got into art modeling was because I felt so sheltered my whole life, and because it was $10 an hour, and Kentucky's minimum wage was, I think, $7.25 at the time. I have no idea what it is now. Probably not much more. But so I saw this flyer for art modeling. I didn't know what that was, but I was like, oh, $10 an hour? I got to get in on that. And a friend of mine was like, I'll go with you. I want to do it too. And he and I went to sit in on a class. Just the teacher's like, well, you need to see it to see if you can do it, and then we'll talk. Because I guess a lot of people have come in and then they chickened out, and so she's like,
obviously,
she's like, just go in, see what you have to do, and then come back and talk to me if you're still interested. And so we sat in on this class, and this girl, it was just a portrait, but it was a nude portrait, and so she was topless, but she was wearing pants, and I'm so nervous. I'm sorry. I'm still nervous.
What are you nervous about?
I don't know. I'm just nervous to
This
be
is
here.
this
Am
is
I
like
going to
the
be
first
entertaining
time-
enough? Am I going to speak
Absolutely.
accurately?
See, this boggles my mind that she's nervous about this, but she's done all that. Like,
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Nothing.
Well, I don't know.
So I'm assuming it was one of those classes where they paint.
Yeah, they were
Obviously.
painting, and the way that I saw, I only had male friends. Other women, I went to an all girls Catholic high school, and everything was competition. She's prettier than me. She's got bigger boobs than me, which is pretty much everybody, and she's got nicer teeth. She's got better hair, which is also mostly everybody. And just like that's just the way I saw other women. And so this model, when she took off her robe, I was just like, oh, her boobs are so much bigger. Their paintings are going to be so much nicer because she just looks so much better.
Women
I can't.
are so competitive.
It's
I didn't
awful.
realize,
I was in a really awful,
Holy crap.
really awful place, and I just hated my own body. And I was just like, I'm so close to being good, but I'm just not there. And
Well,
I
hate
almost
my body too.
it's
really do. I
very.
hate my body too.
The more you talk about it, like it's like it's everybody.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's really sad, but. This story has a happy ending. So I see that, and I'm like, oh, Solar, I can't do it. My friend who,
What was her name? Solar?
yeah, his
That's
name was Solar.
That's a cool name. I like that name.
Oh.
Continue.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And
Cool name.
and he was like, if you want to do it, do it. I'm going to do it, but you do what you want. And he signed up right then. And I was like, I guess nobody has to know this is what I'm going to do. So I'll do it. And it started as like this is only going to be what I do in my crazy college days that I'm never going to tell anybody about. And now it's my full-time job. But I went in, and it was just like, I was a theater major. And so I had a lot of performance, and in the dressing rooms, you get changed and people see things, but everybody's doing their own thing. And so I was like, maybe this will be like that. It's like, all the students are going to be so focused on what they need to do that they aren't going to really
Pay attention.
see me.
Right.
They're going to be so focused on, I have to blend her skin tone. God, they're not looking at me as a person.
Yeah.
And so I started, and I did it for 2 years in college, and I saw the pieces that some of these students made. And I was like, wow. They can see me that way. And then one day I was walking, because the theater building and the art department were connected. And so I was going to a theater class, and I was behind these two art students. And this one girl, she was saying to the guy walking with her, she was like, I just saw his shoulders, and they were just the most beautiful shoulders. I almost asked him if I could draw them. And I just completely clicked that if people can see me as art, why can't I see myself that way? And so I slowly started on this journey of going from complete, like, I don't even know how my boyfriend, who is now my husband, stood being with me, because I wouldn't even take my top off for so long, because I was just like, I was just like, you're not going to want to date me anymore after you see what I look like. Like I was just
So you weren't comfortable.
I hate it. It was awful. And
by the way, I just saw John flex his boob over there.
Are you bragging? Are you subconsciously like, oh, that's not my bravo?
Michael, you know that's involuntary. I
caught it though,
swear.
right? Because I'm looking right at her, and in the corner of my eye, I just saw the shirt just do bloop. I'm like, what? It's okay.
It's something.
Sorry, don't scream.
No insurance.
No one wants to scream.
It's something I gotta live with.
Speaking of your husband.
Yeah.
Since I mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
He's obviously okay with it.
No, I understand.
I was with him before I ever started art modeling.
Was it okay from the get-go? I've always been very. Let me explain why I'm asking this. I've always been very curious because, like, obviously, I'm a guy. If I dated a model,
why do you keep on saying that?
Because I have to be politically correct. I don't know. Anyways, if I was to date a model,
okay,
right, or John, I guess you can chime in on this.
Yeah.
If you were to date a model who posed nude, right, would you be okay with it?
Yeah, I try to be at every photo shoot.
See, but I feel like you can't even do that either.
There are some couples that the boyfriend is their escort.
I feel like you shouldn't have to even do that.
And that's another red flag for anyone watching. If the photographer does not let you have an escort,
that's gotta be
don't
number
go.
one.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Don't go.
Number one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I feel like you have to be comfortable with that for it to even work. Because if you're always with her at the same time,
it wouldn't be like a jealousy thing. It'd be like okay, there's somebody
it's
here
an insecurity though.
No,
like an insecurity thing for you?
For me, no. That would fall under jealousy. For me, it would be like I'm going with my girlfriend just to make sure nothing happens.
That's
okay,
fair.
That's fair. That's fair.
Right.
So it's not what she's doing is what you think. You're trying to protect what could happen at the time.
Yeah.
So has nothing to do with her actually being nude in front of a camera.
No.
Okay, that's fair.
That's a good distinction to make.
See, like me, I'm not saying I wouldn't be against it, right? Because obviously I'm into the arts and all that stuff, and I have a lot of respect for that stuff. I think at first it might be a little bit of maybe not an issue, just like what am I getting myself into? Like I think I would have to have a conversation to understand what the point is. Obviously, it's a little more understanding since you've been explaining it, but like I think communication is like super key for that type of stuff.
Well, communication is key for any aspect of any relationship.
Good point. Very good point. But like I think with me, like having issues with women in the sense of like I have a girlfriend and she has to see me on screen making out with another woman or having a sex scene with somebody else or whatever, even though it's all fake,
That's even a little bit different than what she's doing. Oh yeah. I mean,
it's in the same family.
I would say it's in the same vicinity.
Semi-intimate with somebody else. That's a little
I've only ever nude modeled with other females. That's been a boundary that I do not nude model with men.
With men? Do they do that? Like nude model with men and women together?
Yeah.
I thought they would have kept that like completely separate, but so you're also an actress, right? Mm-hmm. Have you had any scenes?
Can I not speak to my husband? I didn't answer your question.
I am sorry. Totally. I'm so rude.
Talk about her husband.
I'm going to mute myself.
No, it's fine. No, it's not. It's not rude. He's always been fine with it. It's my body, my choice. And he loves me as a person. And I think he also has seen up close and personal what it has done and meant for me. And if he were to try to keep me from that, he would keep me from. So I don't want to speak for him directly, but for my belief, the universe is all of us. We are all connected, and we are all the universe, and it wants to experience life in every possible way. And so that's why we're all different, is however you do things is exactly how you're supposed to do them. And however you do things is exactly how you're supposed to do it, because the universe wants to feel, because I can't feel what you feel. Yeah. And I can't feel what you feel. And so that's important. And so I think for me on my journey, I wouldn't have been able to start photography modeling any sooner than I did. And I started nude modeling like for figure and art classes before I was ready for it. But I think, like I said at the beginning, start before you're ready, because if you always wait to be ready,
you'll never be
ready. And so
100%.
Absolutely. And so when I started nude modeling, I was like, oh, this is something, it's good, going in with no expectations, just going in for the pure experience of it and being completely open to whatever it gives me. It's given me so much. And my husband has seen that. He knew better than most people how much I hated my body. And so seeing me now, like presenting it as a divine vessel that you get to draw and you get to draw me, but like,
yeah, right.
but that's not what I mean. But like, I'm sharing this with you and you're creating art from it. And it's a connection that the model and the artist have with each other. Like that's a really beautiful and for me, a very fulfilling thing. And so how selfish would it be not to call you selfish because you have to be true to your feelings, but for him, how selfish would it be if he denied me that? Exactly. Because it's given me so much. And
I could agree.
I've grown as a businesswoman. I've been freelance for years. Even before we moved here, I was freelance. I was a house cleaner and a dog sitter. And so it's made me learn a lot about myself. And so it's all very valuable. And so I think what you said of wanting to protect them, that's absolutely valid. And so I always tell them where I'm going. I tell them when I'm going to be home. I'm like, this is what I'm wearing if the cops ask later. So you have an idea. But
it'll never get to that. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. But he was always very supportive. And there were even times I went to him and I'm like, this is the movie where I met my friend who got me into modeling. That movie was styled after erotic French films from the 70s, maybe. It was a very sensual story, and there was nudity in it. And at that point, I'd never done that before. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and I went to him and I'm like, am I allowed to do this? And he's like, do you want to? So yeah, I really do. I didn't expect to get it. And they're offering me this part. And I was like, here, read the script. And he's like, if you want to do it, I don't need to read the script.
That's a solid relationship right there.
We've been together almost 11 years.
He's a keeper.
So he's from
very,
Kentucky too, I'm assuming?
We met in college.
Oh.
I just totally gave away how old I am, but whatever. I'm 30.
He can block that out.
But he's wonderful. So
round of applause for the husband.
Thank you. We just had our 5-year wedding anniversary just last month.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you spoke of a film. That was the first thing you did, right?
Mm-hmm. The Pink Chateau. It was beautiful.
Did you just fall into acting as well, the same way? Like just boom? Or did you like take classes? Or you're a theater major though, right?
Yeah, I was.
So this was after college?
Mm-hmm. I did. I started theater in the 7th grade. And I played Veruca Salt in Willy Wonka, and I thought it was so fun that I got to destroy the stage. Veruca Salt is the brat. It's like, I want it now. And I didn't know about stage combat, and I was supposed to pull the punch, but I punched the kid in the stomach who was playing my dad. And I just I was kicking the boxes, and I was like, I had so much fun with it. And there was only one performance. It was 7th grade. It was like the big performance, but some of my aunts and uncles were there. And they were like, we didn't know you could play a brat. And I'm like, I had so much fun. And so I got bitten by the theater bug in 7th grade, and then so did it through high school. And then I was like, do I want to be a zookeeper or do I want to do theater? And I was like, mom and dad. And my dad's a scientist, so he probably wanted me to go into science, maybe. But they were also very supportive because they, again, let me be a theater major. So they were also very supportive of, okay, make it happen. And so I only ever did theater, and then I moved home because it was Murray State, which probably not many people have heard of, unless, hey, sports, you're in the Sweet 16 at some point, Murray State Racers.
I've heard of Murray State, but
Nice.
I don't really pay attention to them.
By
the way, you picked the right shot. I cannot see you as a zookeeper.
I worked at the Louisville Zoo for 5 years. I was like, I did a job shadow and I was asking them questions as a junior in high school. Like, what are your insurance rates like? Like, does the insurance company charge you extra because you could get eaten? Like, I was like, I need to know because I want this to be my job. So I took.
What were you doing over there? Like, I'm assuming feeding animals.
Sometimes the giraffes I got to.
And you were just a
shoveling.
shadow?
Oh, it was a job shadow, but I worked there. I worked there for 5 years. I was in guest services, and so I did everything from picking up trash, helping guests who were lost.
So you weren't feeding the carnivores. Got it. That's kind of
no. I did get to go behind the scenes sometimes because I knew some of the zookeepers, and one of the zookeepers was my cousin, so I got to go in and see the warthogs, and that was cool. And but so I was like, okay, so I'm going to take AP Bio and I'm going to take theater classes and we'll see what sticks. And so when it was college, I was like, I think I can make it go with theater. I think that's more fun. So
theater scares the living life out of me.
Oh, well, you're allowed to curse. It's your show.
Living life out of me.
Yeah.
I hope your life is, I hope you're living.
I don't know about that one.
The living out of me.
Oh, very fun.
I don't know. There's something about, I've never done it, at least not on a actual like stage. I've done it like an acting class, like they do little stuff, but what in the world was that?
That was a hiccup.
Oh,
that was a hiccup.
I don't know. Just something about messing up on a live thing just drives me nuts.
And getting the sweats, heart palpitations, and then falling.
And just freezing there.
And then being a meme.
Oh man,
I would totally freeze up and just stand there, like an idiot, probably.
Well, I don't know. You don't know until you go
That's a good point,
though. You're limiting yourself with this belief that you have no basis for.
I do it, but I do enjoy the film acting aspect of it. Like I do. I know. And would you say they're two different things, or would you say they're
different? They definitely have intersections, just the way photography, modeling, and art modeling have intersections. I mean, when you look at it, every creative endeavor can be looked at with something else and found comparison.
See, I've always found, so when I go to acting classes, for the most part, a lot of them are more geared. Well, not most of them. A few of them that have gone are more geared towards like stage acting versus film acting. And I've noticed my biggest difference between the two arts is more when you're on stage. You're more, even yourself, like when you were doing your little movements a second ago, like even that looked cool. Like you've practiced that stuff. Like it's more physical. Like when it comes to theater is more visual, more body, because you see everything. Versus in a film, like you don't see much more than what you see Arnold Schwarzenegger on the wall there. That's basically the frame.
That's a great poster, by the way.
Sure it is.
I was very inspired by that when I came in.
That inspires me. I'm kidding.
Well, you should switch him.
Heath Ledger.
So that you can see him.
Yeah.
I put it because it's his. Like I bought it for him. Well,
then you should definitely switch him so that you can look at the ones that are yours.
No, I want him behind me.
Yeah,
it's
like it's Guardian
Angel. He's bolstering you up. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I can get that.
That's probably the best thing I've ever gotten you for like Christmas or something.
Sure.
That was pretty cool.
Friends. I love that.
But yeah, so I think the difference for me is when it comes to stage acting, you have to be very physically big
yes.
in every aspect. Like, and I this is when I agree with like Denzel Washington. Like Denzel Washington has said a story where like he went out to audition for something and he's like, you have to be really loud and you have to be able to project and make sure they hear you in the back row. He's like, I wasn't good at that. I'm good at acting though, because I can have a conversation with someone, and acting with a microphone over your head, we could be this far away. I don't have to yell at you. I can talk very soft. I can talk normal, whatever. Like, it's just so smaller, and I like.
Well, that also, I guess if you're thinking of the traditional proscenium, but sometimes black box theaters will have like 40 people, and it's in the round, and you're in the middle, and everybody's right there.
I think that's even more nerve-wracking, right? Because you can single in on somebody and just staring at you the whole time. No, I'd faint.
100%. So besides excuse me. Well, besides your major, did you go to any other schools, like acting schools, acting classes? Nothing, just major.
No.
I mean, she's got a major, though,
she's
right?
Natural.
Yeah, she's
natural.
And we are still suffering from heat issues, like we were last week, but that's okay. One day we will figure this out.
Second week.
We apologize. This is very embarrassing. Where's my womp womp womp? Where is it? We need that. We need that. Where is it? Where is it? Where is there? It is. That's what we need. But did you happen to see that little Super Mario is gonna have a movie coming out next year? Did you happen to see that trailer?
I did not see that trailer, but I have seen the one with the guy who plays Who's It's in Moulin Rouge as Luigi.
Oh.
And then the Mario and they're plumbers and they go and the guys have dragon heads and
Oh, you're talking about the old 90s one. Oh,
I've seen that one.
With the Puerto Rican guy. What's his name? With John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
John Leguizamo. Yeah, he plays Luigi. How's a Puerto Rican playing Italian?
I don't know.
I guess the same way an Italian
I'm
actor
surprised
plays
that whole
a
thing
Cuban.
isn't canceled.
Oh God.
Like,
Yeah, that was back
yeah,
then.
yeah.
You could get away with a lot more back then.
I don't know how I feel about video game movies, to be honest. I don't think there's some that are very successful, right? Resident Evil's one of them, right? There's so many freaking sequels. I mean, there's like how many? What's the
And I
actress's
will
name?
watch all of them.
Mila Djokovic.
Yes, she's she's the director's wife, right? Isn't she
I
with
don't know.
What's the director's name? Whatever.
I don't
Nonetheless,
know.
those movies. I know you said you're a fan of Resident Evil. I'm a fan of the video
I
game.
said that during the break.
I'm a huge fan of the video game. Huge.
Yeah.
The movies to me, one didn't really match the video game, which kind of upset me from the get go.
Yeah.
I don't know if John
Okay.
if John agrees with me.
Who's
John,
Alice?
Yeah,
I don't know.
who is she? She doesn't exist in the
Oh.
video
No
game
character.
world. She doesn't. She doesn't
okay.
exist. They also weren't the greatest movies in the sense of like story. Yeah, it had some fun jump scares, like you said.
Oh,
or
the
what,
jump scares, yeah.
but it wasn't really core to the story of Resident Evil. Did you watch the newer one that came out? The
What?
more modern one that came out last year that we
I don't
couldn't
think
watch.
anybody
Oh,
has.
no.
That we
anyway.
couldn't
Yeah.
watch because kids were talking in the entire
It's
fucking thing.
a bunch of
Godly.
unruly kids
Man.
were right next to us.
It's a
Kids have been following us around. We went to Portillo's and there was like a
High school prom.
stampede of high schoolers. I don't know what's
I felt
going on.
horribly old in that in their
Oh,
midst. Literally really old. But my point with the video games things, like video games are so hard to put on the big screen. Because when you play a video game, you have hours to play it. You can tell a story throughout a massive amount of time.
Okay.
You can't do that in a movie. How do you grab a game like Resident Evil, which we played when we were kids,
Condense it into
an hour and a half?
Yeah, it's hard.
hour and 45 minutes to a game that takes like 10 hours to finish?
You're asking the wrong girl.
She's like, what are we talking? Why are we talking about this?
I just love
She's
Resident Evil.
right,
That's
she's
as
right.
far as my contribution can
What other
go.
video game movie do you like besides Super Mario?
Tomb Raider.
You remember Tomb Raider?
I did not know that was a video game first.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones
I
with
feel like
Angelina
that came
Jolie?
out when I was like in 6th grade.
I feel old now.
The movie?
Yeah, because I
Was it?
remember
No,
seeing
the movie or the video game.
The
the
video games were
movie.
like
I remember
96.
seeing a poster of Angelina Jolie, and again, I was like, I could never be a movie star actress because look how amazing she is. But it was Tomb Raider next to Kangaroo Jack. They came out of the same movie because I saw
Kangaroo
posters
Jack?
for
What
them
the
at
hell
the
is
same time.
Kangaroo Jack?
What?
That's
It's
like with
not
the guy,
great,
isn't it?
but-
The what's the guy's name? He's like
Yeah,
he deals with animals or whatever.
Oh,
Steve
I don't know.
Irwin?
No.
Oh.
No, but the
Yeah,
bad
I think I
guy,
got
the
wrong
bad guy in that movie is he also oh, this is so amazing. I can tell you everything about it. He's in that one movie like Hunger or something where he's like living underground.
No idea what you're talking
in
about.
like a shelter or something about the I don't know. I can see his face. Doesn't that help you?
I mean, I can kind of see. I've never seen that. I've never seen
Kangaroo
that.
She
Jack.
can see his
I've
face.
never
That
seen
should be
that.
able to help you.
Oh, that guy. He's on daytime TV now.
That actor,
What's the other guy though? Anthony Anderson.
Anthony Anderson.
Yeah, I
He's
forgot.
the chubby one.
Yeah.
Oh, black dude.
Oh, yeah,
Dreads
I know
now.
who he is.
He was in
Jerry
Transformers.
O'Connell. He's on daytime television. I just watched him on Celebrity Family Feud. They have like 2 different morning talk shows against each other, and he gave the stupidest answer. And I'm like, go back to doing movies.
So you watch.
That's what I'm afraid. That's why
Feud.
I'm so nervous. It's like somebody out there is going to be like, God, she's so stupid.
Oh,
we should
totally.
I'm not going to follow this podcast anymore. These are the kind of guests that they have.
We should totally go into these trivia questions to see.
We're not going to have time. That thing's good.
I'm kidding. Maybe next time we'll play it. Where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram.
Oh, how excited she is.
I'm an Instagram model. I should have a Facebook. I should have a TikTok. I don't. Instagram is enough.
I feel like you would have a TikTok.
I don't want to lose that much of my life.
Oh, okay.
I already have a timer on that shuts off my phone after a certain number of hours because
that sounds really healthy.
Yeah, it's boundaries. It's very important.
Do you want me to put that timer for you so you can let go of the TikTok?
No.
Otherwise, I would just be I would just be lost.
Consumed my life.
Point in case.
But I'm the Magster 92 because my name is Maggie. I'm the Magster, spelled just like you would think.
Does not match the.
It's almost like
you don't think I look like a Magster?
It's like
that's been like my longest running nickname my entire life.
Magster?
More than anything else.
One of your brothers?
My dad.
Your dad?
Yeah.
Magster.
Where'd you get it from though? Like where did it come from? Like
my name is Maggie. It is not short for Margaret. And it's just Mags. The Magster.
See, when I hear that,
that was a kid in grade school. That was not my dad. But.
When I hear that, the only reference I can think of is like American Pie. When what's the one's game? He calls himself the Stiffmeister or whatever the hell it is. Stifler or whatever. Yeah, his name is Stifler or whatever. Yeah. He calls himself. That's like the only thing I'm like. Oh, I guess that makes sense. Just add the ER at the end. Makes sense. I got it.
And a T.
And a T.
And an S.
And an S. I can't spell. I'm sorry. I went to one of the worst high schools in Chicago.
I'm sorry.
Don't do that to me right now.
But yeah, I'm the Magster 92.
Do you have any upcoming projects that you're working on?
Well, a friend of mine and I don't want to run over too long, but a friend of mine and I just started writing movies together, and we just had this past Wednesday our storyboard meeting. And so it's like, okay, we got the storyboard, we got the location, we're gonna meet next Wednesday and do the shot list, and then we're gonna start making movies
together. You're talking his language right now.
No, see, why did you wait to the last minute?
Because you really wanted to talk about nude modeling.
I'm sorry.
And that's fine. And that I wanted to dress this way because people have a perception about when you say you're a model. I usually just tell people I'm a housewife because it answers two questions. I don't do anything I want to talk about, and I'm married and I don't want to talk to you. But what was I just saying? I just
about your storyboards and your film that you're going to make.
But after that, I dress this way because I want to give people what they expect, but I also want to challenge people's preconceived notions, of what a model is. So I don't know.
Fair enough.
If you don't think that a model is the Magster, then that's great. I'm happy to make you see in a different way. No,
I did. It was enlightening. For sure.
But I'm excited for your production that you're
I'm not even necessarily going to act in them. I just want to make something. So
you're writing and directing as well? You're doing the whole 9 yards?
Maybe.
It's a pain in the ass, let me tell you.
I'm really excited.
I'm excited. I'm still very excited, but it becomes a very time consuming, very stressful, but it could be that very good stress that people say. I think you're doing yourself very well by not acting in it and being behind the scenes, because that's the mistake I make. Because that adds a lot of weight. But I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see it.
I believe you.
And if you need some help with anything,
she was like, I believe you.
Well, it sounded very genuine. I really appreciate that.
I will show you some of the stuff that we've done before you go.
I would love to make that connection.
And if you need, like I said, my cinematographer, he's my partner. He has a lot of gear. I have gear here, and you're more than welcome. If you need a microphone or whatever, you're more than welcome to.
Wow, I can't pay you, but that's great. Let's handshake on it right now. Wow, Noah, I got us a deal. That's my friend that I'm writing with.
I'm all about helping people.
I would love that.
That's always been my thing.
They're all quick hit horror films.
Nope, that's fine. Can we kill John in it?
I have to write something for that. Nobody dies in mine.
Nobody dies in yours?
But
He's got to hide behind the wall of chainsaws after the make.
That's a lot of props.
This is a great place to hide.
Yeah. So that stupid
that commercial.
He'll never find me here.
Why don't we just get in the moving car, in the running car?
As he's getting ready to lop my head off with a
He's
machete.
just staring at him like they're idiots.
Let's make that movie. Let's do it.
I'm totally. I hope y'all. If I
Well,
can.
we shook on it. It's binding.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's on film, so it's legal.
Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
Today, yes, I did. My heart just stopped beating so
now-
fast,
now
and now we're done.
She's nervous for some reason.
Would you be willing to come back?
Oh yeah,
Cool.
that would be
Cool.
great.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming out and
Thanks
joining
for
us here on the
having
table.
me.
John, you got anything, bro?
Yeah, what's the dollar amount to get you as a nude portrait model?
Me?
Yeah.
God. What's my
It's gotta be pretty steep.
What's my minimum? My
It-
minimum for my acting stuff. I think it's like $1,500. Like that's got to be the minimum. How much nudity are we talking about here?
Yeah, full.
Full? Oh God. I don't know.
It's got to be like
I don't know.
10 digits for me.
Really? It's got to be like 10 digits for you?
Oh,
That's,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're actually kind of in shape.
No, I
I mean,
know
you're
about
in
that.
a shape. I'm kidding.
Good dad
mean-
bod, I guess.
We can Photoshop and put you on Arnold's
Sure, why not?
bod. Arnold's amazing bod back there. Anyways, you good?
Yep.
Madam? You good? Had a good
I
time?
think so.
All right.
Oh
cool.
yes, I had a good time. Yes, I'm good. We can wrap up.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I had an okay time.
Again, thank you for coming out.
Well, thanks for
hanging out
having
with
me,
us.
guys.
And that's going to be our show for tonight. Like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, everything we said is in our opinion. And if you don't agree with it,